Okay, so we look at these setups. Left-hand one now is your kind of after. The first one on the right-hand side, there's your before. Now, if we just look at your just general setup, for me, that looks a lot more kind of just in line. This looks like your head's tilted that way. This a bit levelled off. The hands a bit sort of behind. Just doesn't look so comfortable. The ball's kind of in the middle of your stance. So you're sort of very much sort of leaning to your left there on this shot. Again, almost as if you were trying to sort of play a chip shot and strike down the ball. I think in your mind, you were still thinking you were going to top it, and you were sort of setting up into it. But yeah, definitely from a setup perspective, that left-hand one for me now is a much more universal, efficient position. As a ball position now is just inside that left heel. Very good. This one on the right, as you went back, because of that kind of setup, you then to sway back. So your head's moving a long way back into that right side. And now when you get to bat here, we want to move towards that wall. Okay. Your left hip actually moves almost away from it. And the right foot, evidence 1.1, isn't really moving at all, is it? Just sort of stays very flat-footed as you come to the shot there and don't really get that close to the wall. Okay, this one here now, okay. Send a little bit of a slide off the golf ball there now, okay. Oh, there's the wall, okay. Look at that there. It's moving to at least somewhere towards, and it's shrinking the gap now between where it was and where it is, okay. Getting into that impact position. Good strike of the ball. Move through. Elbow's gone through the wall, so you have moved more in that direction. And I bring to you daylight under your right foot. That wasn't one of your best ones, in fairness. We had a couple we didn't get on camera, unfortunately, where your foot was up there and it was sort of around there, where this was sort of back a little bit. But yeah, there is some kind of movement. Yeah. So your movement of the body to the left into that imaginary wall, as we said. Yeah. It looks a lot more natural there, where this looks kind of a bit leaning back and again just trying to help the ball up in the air and stuff. So always try and feel like you're moving through the golf ball this way to that left side. You can move that left hip into that blue line, or a little bit more would be fine, but at least we're getting back to, there's your impact position there now. Your hands kind of back in line with the golf ball, and then twisting through. This lifting off the ground is a sign your weight is going that way. Exactly. In the past though, the combination of three wrongs you had the ball too far back, teed up too high, and then you moved too far this way to sort of counteract. So from that setup, what we'd expect with a normal circle, the club be coming down here, hitting the golf ball too much on the way down and popping up in the air. So what you did to try and move that was just move yourself like this way, Miles. No. Yeah, when it clicked, pretty good. But it was just too many inconsistencies, too many variables that would work on occasions, but more often than not, but it's going to be really good. And then like, oh my god, knuckleballing it, topping it, and as you played yesterday, you couldn't even use your favourite club, and that's why your drive is your favourite. That's why your drive is your favourite club normally, because it's up in the air. You can kind of lean back and it up on it. That method or that technique, should we say, can work with a driver if you use the orange tee.
I was doing some better iron shots and some better
hybrid, the best one. Yeah. But that driver,
seven irons got me out of trouble a few times.
Probably what you'd have done then with the drive on that when you played on Tuesday was the fact the ball would have been in the right spot, and you didn't adjust to that. You were still doing the swing as you're doing today. Now you've moved the ball back a little bit this way. The shots aren't so bad, but it's again 3 or 4 wrongs making it right, which from a consistency standpoint, is never going to work well. It'll work on occasions, but well, it's just too many things, isn't it? I mean, if you're doing your job and stuff, you plan, you prepare, you get the right things, you do that. You just there's an organisation. If you're just going, I'll do anything I want to do, I'll do that. I'll plug this, and I'll just do that. I'll tighten it on that, or whatever. And I put the ignition. Oh, that's not working. Sparks up. It's not going to work so well. Okay, you might get lucky and get the right kind of whatever, or right route around, but yeah, let's not play golf in a lucky or relying on too many variables. Yeah, there's enough out there that are going to cause you grief anyway in terms of wind, slope, bunkers, trees, water, people you're playing with, and all that kind of stuff.
Needing a bit more practice in now, so.
Yeah, exactly. But again, I'll send this through to others before and stuff. So yeah, just focus on that movement. And I would say the movement you can make there, you can just get yourself into a sort of set-up position with just your arms if needs be. Yeah. Make a backswing and just focus on moving into that blue line. Just move that left hip towards the target. The more that left hip can move, until you start moving it too far this way, where it goes beyond your left foot, which I don't think really at the moment you would ever do. Now, in time you might do, but it'll take a hell of a lot of practice to get you on that left-hand side there. onto that green line. If we can get somewhere near it, brilliant. But you're kind of back here when you're doing it normally. If you're just spinning and pivoting back away from, I mean, the gap between your lead hip and the actual, where that wall is, I mean, that's kind of impact there.
Yeah.
If I draw a line up there now, I mean, your hip's kind of here somewhere, so you're a good long way away from that green line. So to move that way that much, doesn't look much on there. I mean, what? I think you're there to there, it's easy. That much moving the golf thing feels like 10 foot, all right? So, yeah, move left into that imaginary wall. And like I said, it's one thing away from today. Hitting the ground isn't a bad thing. It's where the ground, if the ground is hit here, your low point is too far behind the ball, chances are your weight is too far back. Hit the ground more this way, you move your body more towards target. Okay?
Yep.
Good stuff. Right, have a couple more in, buddy, and we'll see how those do. Again, using a variety of clubs now. Try and go to the back and go to some of your hybrids and see the difference in those two are, buddy, okay?